Come. And studio. Con, I just pressed it. Does he see it? Swipe, you see it, sir? Okay. You see that? Okay. Go on, sir. No problem. Go around. You might get that door.
The door.
Come. Test. Shalom, Akim. It's the ISUBK Maryland service, Baltimore, March 4th, 2023. Yahweh Shemir Shabbat Yahweh Shemir Shabbat to all the Akim, Yahweh Shemar Al-Tan by Shem Yahshua to all the Akwathim out there. We're going to go ahead and get started. We're going to start today. We're going to be reading in 1 Samuel chapter 20, verses 3 through 9. We're going to read it in the Hebrew, then we're going to go into the English. Let's go to 1 Samuel chapter 20. I'm going to start in verse 3. 1 Samuel chapter 20, verse 3. We're going to and go ahead and follow along. Well, so far we've had that. What we've been reading is David is pretty much. We know that he slayed Goliath, and that he became a captain in Saul's army, and he became part of the royal family. But after a while, we saw that Saul, the spirit of the Most High departed from Saul, and Saul began to have a spirit of jealousy towards David, and then he started to pursue David and wanted to kill David. One of the ways he was trying to slay David was have David fight the Philistines, but the Most High was with David every time he fought the Philistines, and David is becoming stronger and stronger, while Saul is actually becoming weaker and weaker. We're going to get started. Let's read 1 Samuel chapter 20, 3 through 9. 1 Samuel chapter 20, verse 3. Waya Shabai, Iwa, Dawada, Waya Amar, Yadai, Abayaka, Kaya, Mataza Afya, Khan, Ba'ayan Waya Amar, Al, Yadai, Za'af, Yaha Wana Thun, Yaha Wana Thun. Swatch, that's John. Pun, Ya'itazab, Wa'awalam, Chaya, Yahawa, Wachya, Napashka, Shalom, Yapashta, Kaya, Kapashai, Bayanya. It's like this, I couldn't make that big. Wabayan, Mahamawaf. Verse 4. Waya Amar Yahawanathan Al Dawada Baha Amar Pashka Wa Aisha Laka Lak Slakin. Verse 5. Waya Amar Dawada Al Yahawanathan Hana Chadash Chamar Nahya Yashab Ashab Ain Hamalak La'akawal Washa Lachatanya Wanasa Satar Thaya Slakin Wanasa Rathya Slakin Bashadha Ain Ha'irab Hashalashyath, verse 6. Haquad Yapa Quadanya Abayaka Wayamartha Nasha'al Mamanya Dawada Lara Wataza Baya Waham Ayarwa Hayar Zabak Hayamyam Sham Lakal Hamashapak verse 7. Kaha Ya'amar Tawab Shalom La'ibadka Wa'am Harha Yakharha Lawa Dai Kaya Kalafha Haraiha Ma'ainwa, verse 8. Wa'ai Shayaf Kasad Al Ibadka Kaya Babaryath Yahweh Af Ibadka Imak Wa'am Yash Baya Iwan Hama Yafanya Atha Wa'ain Abiyaka Lama Za Thabaya Anya, verse 9. Wayamar Yahawanathan Khala Yala Lak Kaya Yadai Idai Kaya Kalata Haraiha Ma'ain Abaya Labawa'a Alyaka Wala'a Atha Agaya Lak. And that's it. We're now going to be reading 1 Samuel chapter 20, verses 3 through 9 in the English. Come.
1 Samuel chapter 20, verse 3. And David sware moreover and said, Thine father certainly knoweth that I have found grace in thine eyes. And he saith, Let not Jonathan know this, lest he be grieved. But truly as the Most High liveth, and as thou soul liveth, there is but a step between me and death. Verse 4. Then said Jonathan unto David, Whatsoever thine soul desire, I will even do it for thee. Verse 5. And David said unto Jonathan, Behold, tomorrow is the new moon, and I shall not fail to sit with the king at meat. But let me go, that I may hide myself in the field unto the third day at evening. Verse 6. If thine father at all miss me, then say, David earnestly asked leave of me that he might run to Bethlehem, his city, for there is yearly sacrifice there for all the family. Verse 7. If he say thus, it is well, thine servant shall have peace. But if he be very wroth, then be sure that evil is determined by him. Verse 8. Therefore thou shalt deal kindly with thine servant, for thou hast brought thine servant into a covenant of the Most High with thee. Notwithstanding, if there be in me iniquity, slay me thyself. For why shouldst thou bring me to thine father? Verse 9. And Jonathan said, Far be it from thee, for if I knew certainly that evil were determined by my father to come upon thee, then would not I tell thee?
All right, we're now going to be reading 1 Samuel chapter 20, 10 through 16 in the Hebrew. 1 Samuel chapter 20, verse 10. Wayamar Dawada all Yahawanathan Maya Yagayad Laya Awa Aha Yainika Abayaka Husha. Verse 11. Wayamar Yahawanathan all Dawada Laka Wanataza Hashadha Hashada Wayataza Awa Shanya Hum Hashada. Verse 12. Wayamar Yahawanathan all Dawada Yahweh Alaya Alaya Yasha'ala Kaya Akhawar Abiyah Ka'if Makar Hashalashyath Wahana Tawab Al Dawada Wala Azab Ashalach Alyaka Wagalayafya Af Azanka. Verse 12. Kaha Ya'isha Yahawa Laya Hawanathan Waka Yasaya Kaya Yayatab Al Abiyah Af Haraiha Alyaka Wagalayafya Af Azanka Washalakaf Yaka Wahal Lakaf Lashal Lawam Lashalom Wahaya Yahweh Aimak Ka'ashar Haya Ain Abiyah. Verse 14. Wala'ah Iwadanya Chaya Wala'ah Fa'aisha Aimadya Kasad Yahweh Wala'ah Imawaf. Verse 15. Wala'ah Fakaraf Kasadka Ma'ain Bayafya I will Wala'ah Baha Karaf Yahweh Ayabya Dawada Ayash Ma'al Hanya Ha'adama. Verse 16. Wayakaraf Yahawanathan Ain Bayah Dawada Wabakwash Yahweh Maya Ayabya Dawada. That's it. Now reading 1 Samuel chapter 20, 10 through 16 in the English.
First Samuel chapter 20, verse 10. Then said David to Jonathan, Who shall tell me? Or what if thine father answered thee roughly? Verse 11. And Jonathan said unto David, Come, and let us go out into the field. And they went out both of them into the field. Verse 12. And Jonathan said unto David, O most high power of Israel, when I have sounded my father about tomorrow any time, or the third day, and behold, if there be good towards David, and then Salaki, if there be good towards David, and I then sin not unto thee, and show it thee. Verse 11. The Most High do so and much more to Jonathan. But if it please my father to do thee evil, then I will show it thee and send thee away, that thou mayest go in peace, and the Most High be with thee, as he had been with my father. Verse 14. And thou shalt not only while yet I live show me the kindness of the Most High, that I die not. Verse 15. But also thou shalt not cut off thine kindness from my house forever. No, not when the Most High have cut off the enemies of David, every one from the face of the earth. Verse 16. So Jonathan made a covenant with the house of David, saying, let the Most High even require it at the hand of David's enemies.
And I think we talked about this last year, the position that Jonathan was in. I mean, sometimes I don't think we realize the position that Jonathan was in. I mean, his father was the king. And, when you're the king, the king at that time pretty much had the final say in many matters. And Jonathan here was, his father, pretty much the king was an enemy to David. And Jonathan was in a tough position. But Jonathan saw the spirit of David, and he knew that the Most High was with David. And he did not go against David, even though his father was going against him. And even right here, he pretty much says when the Most High cuts off all the enemies, have a covenant. They made a covenant with each other. And David remembered that covenant because, we know the story when Jonathan is killed, and his father and all them were killed. David had Jonathan's son one of Jonathan's sons always sit at his table. So that shows that the loyalty that David and Jonathan had with each other. Because David could have, cut off Jonathan's son as well. Because, Jonathan's son, would have, in some ways, David could have had the attitude that, you're of that line of Saul anyway. But because of the sake of Jonathan, he had Jonathan's son. I think his son was crippled, if I remember correctly, always sit at his table. So it just shows the brotherhood that both of them had with each other. All right. Let's go to 1 Samuel chapter 20, 17 through 23. 1 Samuel chapter 20, verse 17. Wasak. Wahawanathan. Laha Shabi. Waha Shabayai. Dawuda. Baha Abafwa. Afwa Kaya. Ahabtha. Napashwa. Ahabwa. Verse 18. Waya Amar Lawa. Yahawanathan. Machar. Chadash. Wana Pakwadas. Kaya. Pakwad. Mawashabka. Verse 19. Washalashta. Tharad. Ma'ad. Waba'af. Al. Hamakwawam. Ashar. Nasa Tharath. Sham. Bayawam. Hama Aisha. Waya Shabath. Al Tazal. Atazal. Ha-Aban, Ha-Azal, verse 20. Wa-Anya, Shalashta, Ha-Tazayam, Tazada, Awaram, Lashalak, Laya, Lamatara, verse 21. Wahana, Ashalach, Af, Hana Lach, Mataza Af, Tazayam, Af, Amar, Lana Hana, Tazayam, Mamka, Wahana, Kakanwa, Waba'a, Wabaha, Kaya, Shalom, Laka, Awayan, Dabar, Chaya, Yahweh. Verse 22. Kaha, Amar, Ailam, Hana, Hacha Tazayam, Mamka, Wahal Aha, Lach, Kaya, Shalachka, Yahweh. Verse 23. Waha Dabar, Ashar, Dabar now, Anya, Wa'atha, Hana, Yahweh, Bayanya, Wabayanka, I will and that's it.
It was 17.
Come. We're now going to read 1 Samuel 20, 17 through 23.
Verse 17, and Jonathan caused David to swear again, because he loved him, for he loved him as he loved his own soul. Verse 18, then Jonathan said to David, tomorrow is the new moon, and thou shalt be missed, because thine seat will be empty. Verse 19, and when thou hast stayed 3 days, then thou shalt go down quickly, and come up to the place where thou didst hide thyself when the business was in hand, and shall remain by the stone Ezil. Verse 20, and I will shoot 3 arrows on the side thereof, as though I shot at a mark. Verse 21, and behold, I will send a lad, saying, go, find out the arrows. If I expressly say unto the lad, behold, the arrows are on the side of thee, take them, then come thou, for there is peace to thee, and no hurt, as the Most High liveth. Verse 22, but if I say thus unto the young man, behold, the arrows are beyond thee, go thine way, for the Most High hath sent thee away. Verse 23, and as touching the matter which thou and I have spoken of, behold, the Most High be between thee and me forever.
Right? We're now going to be reading 1 Samuel 20. Is there any questions in the room?
So, verse 21, he was saying he's going to shoot 3 arrows. Just to be clarity, he was saying he's going to shoot 3. So he told David to go back to where he was chilling at, where he was hiding at. And he said he's going to shoot 3 arrows, and he's going to send a young man up there to get the arrows. And if he sends them to go get the arrows, then that means everything is good. But if he sends them past the arrows, then that means
it wasn't good. It wasn't too well.
His pocket still was
on some killer type.
okay.
Come. All right, we're going to be reading 1 Samuel chapter 20, 24 through 30 in the Hebrew. 1 Samuel chapter 20, verse 24. Waya Sathar, Dawadah, Washadah, Wayahaya, Hachadash, Wayashah, Hamalak, Al, Halokam, La Akawal, verse 25. Wayashah, Hamalak, Al, Wamashabwa, Kapa'ain, Bapa'ain, Al, Mawashah, Hakwayar, Wayakwam, Yahawanathan, Wayashah, Abanar, Matazad, Shawal, Wayapakwad, Makwawam, Dawadah, verse 26. Wala'ah, Dabar, Shawal, Ma'awamah, Bayawam, Hawa'ah, Kaya, Amar, Makwara, Hawa'ah, Balafia, Tahawar, Hawa'ah, Kaya, La'ah, Tahawar. Verse 27. Wayahaya, Mama Korath, Hachadash, Hashunya, Wayapaquad, Makwawam, Dawada, Wayamar, Shawal, all, Yahawanathan, Bunwa, it's like Madawai, La'ab, Ba'a, Bun, Yashia, Gum, Thamawal, Gum, Hayawam, all, Halacham. Verse 28, Waya'ain, Yahawanathan, Shawal, Nasha'al, Dawada, Ma'ain Madya, Ain, Bayath, Waham. Verse 29, Wayamar, Shalakanya, Kaya, Zabak, Mashapaka, Lanawa, Bayar, Waha, Tazawa, Laya, Achya, Wa'aitha, Mataza Afya, Khan, Bayanyaka, Amalata, Na'a, Achya, Khan, Ba'a, Shalakhan, Hamalak. Verse 30, Wayachar, Shawal, Bayahawanathan, Bayamar, Lawa, Ban, Na'ai, Was, Hamarad, Dawaf, Halawa'a, Yada'aithya, Kaya, Machar, Atha, Laban, Yashya, Labashabathka, Wala Mashaf, Arawat, Waf, Amka, and that's it. We're now going to be reading 1 Samuel 20, 24 through 30.
1 Samuel chapter 20, verse 24. So David hid himself in the field, and when the new moon was come, the king set him down to eat meat. Verse 25. And the king sat upon his seat as at other times, even upon a seat by the wall. And Jonathan arose, and Abner sat by Saul's side, and David's place was empty. Verse 26. Nevertheless, Saul spoke unto anything that day, for he thought something had befallen him. He is not clean. Surely he is not clean. Verse 27. And it came to pass on the morrow, which was the second day of the month, that David's place was empty. And Saul said unto Jonathan's son, Wherefore cometh not the son of Jesse to meet, neither yesterday nor today? Verse 28. And Jonathan answered Saul, David earnestly asked leave of me to go to Bethlehem. Verse 29. And he said, Let me go, I pray thee, for our family have a sacrifice in the city, and my brother, he have commanded me to be there. And now, if I have found favor in thine eyes, let me get away, I pray thee, and see my brother. Therefore he cometh not unto the king's table. Verse 30. Then Saul's anger was kindled against Jonathan, and he said unto him, Thou son of the perverse, rebellious women, do not I know that thou hast chosen the son of Jesse to thine own confusion, and thou the confusion of thy mother's nakedness? So they sitting at the table.
Come.
They eating it, and David don't show up.
Come.
And he asked his son, why David ain't show up. And he told him that he went to tend to his family.
Come.
His brother called him.
Come.
And then the king noticed that, he peeped game like that you
Come.
wanted. And So what does 30 mean when he say all this stuff about?
I mean, he was angry because so Saul pretty much knew the friendship between David and Jonathan. And I mean, in Saul's eyes, this is like a slap in his face. Because his own son, he feels like his own son is siding with the enemy. You know? So he pretty much is, I mean, he's pretty much he's in the wrong spirit right now, but he's looking at his own son because you got to think about it. If his son is siding with David, then Saul's line is going to be no more. Because you got to think, Jonathan is from his body. You know, Saul would want his line to continue as king. You know, the lines of kings continues through him. But this Jonathan sided with the man that was anointed by Samuel to be next in line. And so this is another thing that Saul's thinking is like, you're rebellious, you know. You know, the fusion of thy mother. He's like, you siding with pretty much the enemy, you know, and he's angry right now. Because, like I said, it was already known that Samuel anointed David, you know, to be king over Israel. And Saul had to know this too, you know. And so, but if you look at it, like, Jonathan is his son, you know, it was an insult, you know, your line got cut off. And so this is showing the end of his line anyway. And you got Jonathan side with David. So, yeah, Saul's angry right now. And he knows that his son is not defending him. He's not defending the throne. He's not right. He's not defending the throne. He's sitting up there siding with the son of Jesse in Saul's mind. Go ahead.
Okay, so you said it. The son of Jesse.
Come on. That's David. That's David's father. All right. All right. We're going to be reading 1 Samuel chapter 20, 31 through 37. 1 Samuel chapter 20, verse 31. Kaya, Kal, Hayanyam, Ashar, Bun, Yashya, Kaya, Al, Ha'adama, La'ah, Fakawan, Atha, Wama La Kawaska, Wa'aitha, Shalak, Wakwak, Afwa, Alya, Kaya, Bun, Mawak, Wa'ah, verse 32. Wa'ya'ain, Yahawanathan, Af, Af, Sha'awal, Abiyawa, Wayamar, Aliyawa, Lama, Wayawamath, Maha, Aisha, verse 33. Wayatal, Sha'awal, Af, Hakanayath, Aliyawa, Laha, Kafwa, Wayadai, Yahawanathan, Kaya, Kala, Haya'ah, Ma'ayin, Abayawa, Laha Mayath, the Wada, verse 34. Wayakwam, Yahawanathan, Ma'ayin, Hashalakan, Bakarius like it, or Apaz like it. Well, a call. Bayawam, Hachadash, Hashanya, Lacham, Kaya, Na'ai Tazah, the Wada, Kaya, Hakalamwa, Abayawa, verse 35. Bayahaya, Babakwar, Wayatazah, Yahawanathan, Hashadad, Lama Wa'ai, the Wada, Wana'ar, Quatan, Ainwa, verse 36. Waya Amar, Lana Arwa, Rai, Mataza Na'am, Af, Hakatazayam, Ashar, Anakia, Marwa, Hana'ar, Rai, Wa'a, Yara. It's like Yarha, it's like it. Hakatazaya, Laha Iramwa, verse 37. Wayaba'a, Hana'ar, Ai, Makwawam, Hakatazaya, Ashar, Yarha, Yahawanathan, Yakwara, Wayakwara, Yahawanathan, Acharya, Hana Ar, Wayamar, Halawa'a, Hakatazaya, Mamka, Wahala'a, Swaki, Wahala'a. That's it. We're now going to be reading 1 Samuel 20, 31 through 37 in the English. First Samuel 20, 31 through 37. Through 37.
Verse 31, for as long as the son of Jesse liveth upon the ground, thou shalt not be established, nor thy kingdom.
Stop right there. See, you see, he's like, if David still lives, he's saying, our kingdom ain't gonna be established. You're my son. Like, you're gonna be next to line, but you shouldn't be siding with the man that, was anointed to be king at. Go ahead.
Wherefore now send and fetch him unto me, for he shall surely die. Verse 32, and Jonathan answered Saul his father and said unto him, wherefore shall he be slain? What have he done? Verse 33, and Saul cast a javelin at him to smite him, whereby Jonathan knew that he was determined of his father to slay David.
So it was actually wise that David didn't even come and eat, because Saul was always preparing to kill this man. Go ahead.
Did he throw a javelin at his son?
Yeah, he threw one at him. He threw one at his son. It was intended, for David. That's why he had it. But he threw it at his son.
So Jonathan arose from the table in fierce anger, and did eat not meat the second day of the month, for he was grieved for David, because his father had done him shame. Verse 35, and it came to pass in the morning that Jonathan went out into the field at the time appointed with David, and a little lad with him. Verse 36, and he said unto his lad, run, find out now the arrows which I shot. And as the lad ran, he shot an arrow beyond him. And when the lad was, verse 37, and when the lad was come to place of the arrow which Jonathan had shot, Jonathan cried after the lad and said, is not the arrow beyond thee?
All right, we're now going to be reading 1 Samuel chapter 20, 38 through 42, and then we're going to be reading 1 Samuel 21, 1 through 2, first in the Hebrew, then in the English. 1 Samuel chapter 20, verse 38. Wayakorah, Wahawanathan, Acharya, Hana'ar, Mahara, Kawasha, Al, Ta'imad, Wayalakwat, Na'ar, Yahawanathan, Av, Hachatazaya, Wayaba'a, Al, Adanyawa. Verse 39. Wahana'ar, La'a, Yadai, Ma'a, Wama, A, Yahawanathan, Wadawada, Yadaiwa, A, Hadabar, verse 40. Wayathan, Yahawanathan, A, Kalyawa, Al, Hana'ar, Ashar, Lawa, Wayamar, Lawa, La, Habayah, Ha'ar, verse 41. Hana'ar, Wa'a, Wada, Quam, Ma'atazal, Hanagam, Waya Paul, La'at Aratazai Ha, Waya Shafahwa, Shalash, Pa'ainyum, Waya Shakwa, Ayash, Af, Raihawa, Waya Bakwa, Ayash, Af, Raihawa, I, the Wada, Haga, y'all, y'all. Verse 42. Waya Amar, Yahawanathan, La Dawada, La Shalawam, La Shalom, Ashar, Nashabai Nawa, Shunya Nawa, Anak Nawa, Basham, Yahweh, Amar, Yahweh, Yahaya, Bayanya, Wabayanka, Wabayan, Zariah, Wabayan, Zaraika, Walam, Wayaquam, Wayalak, Wayahawanathan, Ba'a, Ha'ayar. It's 1 Samuel chapter 21, verse 1. Wayaba'a, Dawada, Naba, Akya Malak, Hakahan, Waya Koran, Ak Yamalak, La Koratha, Dawada, Wayamar, Lawa, Madawai, Atha, Labadka, Wa Ayash, Ayan, Afak, verse 2. Wayamar, Dawada, La'ach Yo Malak, Hakahan, Hamalak, Tazawanya, Debar, Wayamar, Oya, Ayash, Al, Yadai, Wama, Af, Adabar, Ashar, Anakia, Shalaka, Way Ashar, Wayafka, Wa'af, Hana'arium, Yawadais, Yawadais, All, Makwawam, Palanya, Alamawanya, and that's it. We're now going to be reading 1 Samuel chapter 20, 38 through 42, and then we're going to jump over to 1 Samuel 21, 1 through 2.
Verse 38, and Jonathan cried after the lad, make speed, haste, stay not. And Jonathan the lad gathered up the arrows and came to his master. Verse 39, but the lad knew not anything, only Jonathan and David knew the matter. Verse 40, and Jonathan gave his artillery unto his lad, and said unto him, go, carry them to the city. Verse 41, and as soon as the lad was gone, David arose out of the place towards the south, and fell on his face to the ground, and bowed himself 3 times, and they kissed one another.
Stop right there. And this is not like a literal kiss like the Italians do on the cheek or they're kissing on the hand or something like that. This is a greeting. This is a type of greeting that they did, how we do in the UPK when we dap each other up. So that's what it really means.
Well, and wept with another until David exceeded. Verse 42, and Jonathan said to David, go in peace, for as much as we have sworn both of us in the name of the Most High, saying, the Most High be between me and thee, and between my seed and thine seed forever. And he arose and departed, and Jonathan went into the city. 1 Samuel chapter 21, verse 1. Then came David to Nob, to Amalek, the priest. And Amalek was afraid at the meeting of David, and said unto him, why art thou alone, and no man with thee? Verse 2. And David said unto Amalek the priest, the king hath commanded me my business, and have said unto me, let no man know anything of the business whereabout I send thee, and what I have commanded thee, and I have appointed my servants to such and such a place. Verse 3.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. And we're now I'm going to be reading 1 Samuel chapter 21, 3 through 9 in the Hebrew, and then we'll do it in the English. 1 Samuel chapter 21, verse 3. Wa'aitha, Maha, Yash, Thakaf, Yadka, Hamasha, Lakam, Thana, Bayadya, Awa, Hanamataza'ah, verse 4. Wa'ya'ain, Hakahan, Tawadad, Wa'yamar, Ayan, Lakam, Call, All, Lakaf, Yadya, Kaya, Lakam, Kodash, Yash, Nasha, Marwa, Hana Arium, Ak, Ma'asha, verse 5. Waya Lawa Kaya Asha I Tazara Sarha Lanawa Katham Mawal Shalashma Bataza Afya Waya Hayawa Kolya, Hana Arium, Padash, Waha, Darak, Kol, Wa'ak, Kaya, Ayawam, Yakwadash, Bakolya, verse 6. Waya Thun, Lawa, Hakahan, Kwadash, Kaya, La'a, Aya, Sham, Lacham, Kaya, Lacham, Hapanyam, Hama Wasarium, Malapanya, Yahweh, Lashawam, Lacham, Kam, Bayawam, Halakwakwa, verse 7. Washam, Ayash, Ma'aibadya, Sha'awal, Bayawam, Hawa, the Aitazar, Lapanya, Yahweh, Washamwa, the Ad, Ha'adamya, Abayar, Harayim, Ashar, Lasha'awal, verse 8. Wayamar, the Wada, La'achayamalak, Wa'ayan, Yash, Pa, Fakaf, Yadka, Chanayath, Awa, Chara, Kaya, Gum, Harabya, Gum, Kolya, La'a, Lakwa Kafya, Bayadya, Kaya, Aya, Dabar, Amalak, Nakawataza, verse 9. Wayamar, Hakahan, Hara, Goliath, Hapalashafya, Ashar, Hakayath, Ba'aimak, Ha'ala, Hana, Haya'ah, Lawata, Bashamala, Acharya, Ha'apawat, Abda, Fakwak, Laka, Kwak, Kaya, Ayan, Akartha, Za'alatha, Baza, Wayamar, Dawada, Ayan, Kamawa, Thana, Laya. That's it. We're now going to be reading 1 Samuel 21, 3 through 9 in the English.
Verse 3. Now therefore, what is under thy hand? Give me 5 loaves of bread in my hand, or what there is present. Verse 4. And the priest answered David and said, there is no common bread under my hand, but there is hollow bread, if the young men have kept themselves at least from women. Verse 5. And David answered the priest and said unto him, of a truth woman have been kept from us about 3 days since I came out, and the vessel of the young man are holy, and the bread is in a manner common. Though it were sacrificed this day in the vessel. Verse 6. So the priest gave him hollow bread, for there was no bread there but the showbread that was taken from before the Most High, to put hot bread in the day when it was taken away. Verse 7. Now a certain man of the servant of Saul was there that day, detained before the Most High, and his name was Doi, an Edomite, the chiefest of the herdmen that belonged to Saul. And David said unto Amalek, and is there not here under thine hand spear or sword? For I have neither brought my sword nor my weapon with me, because the king's business required haste. Verse 9. And the priest said, the sword of Goliath, the Philistine, whom thou slewest in the valley of Elah, behold, it is here wrapped in a cloth behind the ephod. If thou wilt take that, take it, for there is no other save that here. And David said, there is none like that. Give it me. The ephod is a garment, right?
Yeah, that was what the priest wore. It was like it's kind of like it's shaped like this, kind of how our garment shapes like it. It's what the priest wore, and they had the breastplate over it. That was part of the priestly garments.
And when they say that, verse 7, that now a certain man of the servant of Saul was there that day detained before the Most High, was he locked up?
It seems like I'm not too familiar, but it seems like it says he was detained, and he was Doeg the Edomite. So I don't know why they were detaining him. I'm not sure about that. I have to check with one of the generals or captains about that.
And showbread is this. It's like this bread right here.
So the showbread was the one that was. So if you remember how the tabernacle that was set up by Moses and them, so they had the inside the veil you had the table of showbread, and that was the one that was the hot bread. It was really only the priests were only supposed to eat that. It was it's pretty much like the holy. It was the set apart bread. That was the bread set apart for the priest. It was the hot bread that they would make to set up before. And this, I believe that we mimicked that when we set it up here. But that was something the priest was supposed to eat.
Like up here with the showbread, like that was actually to show. And you remember the Levitical priesthood, like they didn't inherit the land. You see what I'm saying? So pretty much like their inheritance was of the Lord. So like by them having showbread, that was pretty much them letting people know like we're being fed. You see what I'm saying? Like when people, tithe and stuff like that, you see what I'm saying? Like they took care of the Levitical priesthood. So that showbread was actually like showing people like, listen, we the Levites, we the priests. And even though we inherit this land, we still because everyone else is doing what they're supposed to do, we can actually eat and we can function as well.
That's a good point.
And this right here mimics that.
That's showbread, right?
Come.
One more thing.
Come, sir.
I forgot.
The water to the point. It's like you want us to go through everything.
Come.
Oh, to eat the showbread. He said that he was asking him, did you have sex with a woman?
Come, because he had to make sure
He wasn't. So
good.
that he wasn't unclean.
Come. And he said you had to be 3 days. And he said we haven't been with you with it. You ended up with him as well. All right. That I'm money. People up here.
Never did.
It's usually real tight and then move to it. Like you gotta kind of make the move as well.
All right.
La Yashao. How you can say it?
Like you, like make the note.
All right. Yeah, work at it. We got all some back there. Some to it.
You don't want?
Men of Israel, a mighty men of Israel, gird up thy loins and prepare to salute the Torah. Yahweh Hashem Yahshua Barakah.
Yahweh Hashem Yahshua Barakah.
Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Barak, Yah.
Yahweh Hashem Yahshua Barakah.
I can stop. Okay.
Amariam, Wampanya, Aquadam, which means rise and face the east.
All right, we're going to read the prayers in the Hebrew and then in the English. This is the Lord's Prayer in the Hebrew. Abinah, Shabbat Shemayim, Wadah, Hayah, Shemkah, Yahweh, Allah Kwafka, Laba'ah, Rizayka, Hayah, Aisha, Barak, Hayah, Shemayim, Thunder now, Lakam, Paul, Kawam, what's the lock now? Come walk now, what's the lock now? Come walk now, come get iron now. Let's say one, a ball, a shine now, a young, ride, a young, Lakam, I'm a lockwa, I will, Aman.
Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done in the earth, as it is in heaven. Forgive us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we forgive our debtors. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from all evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power and the glory, forever. Amen.
So big.
So big.
This is Hakat, the power, In the Hebrew, Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Bahashim Yahushua.
Bahashim Yahushua.
Baruch Kusha.
Baruch Kusha.
The thunder now.
The thunder now.
Hakat.
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 Baruch
Baruch
Allah.
Baruch Allah.
We call on Allah.
Call on Allah.
Hakat.
Hakat.
That's a heart.
That's a heart.
I'm a Tazarite.
I'm a Tazarite.
Hakat.
Hakat.
Lahaki.
Lahaki.
Hamaki.
Hamaki.
Hakat.
Hakat.
Arakawa.
Arakawa.
That's my Allah.
That's my Allah.
Look for Shun.
Look for Shun.
Bahashim Yahushua.
Bahashim Yahushua.
Wa'ad
And in the English, the Lord is thy name, Yahweh.
Yahweh.
In the name of Yahushua,
In the name of Yahushua.
give us the power.
Give us the power.
The power to heal.
Power to heal.
On all manner of sickness.
All manner of sickness.
And all manner of disease.
And all manner of disease.
The power to cleanse the lepers.
Power to cleanse the lepers.
The power to raise the dead.
Power to raise the
The
dead.
power against unclean spirits.
Power against unclean
To
spirits.
cast them out in your name.
Cast them out in your name.
In the name of Yahushua.
In the name of Yahushua.
Thank you so big.
Thank you so big.
This is the blessed Israel in the Hebrew. Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Bahashim Yahushua.
Bahashim Yahushua.
Barak Lanau.
Barak Lanau.
Wayasha'ala.
Wayasha'ala.
Wahabayah.
Wahabayah.
Safari.
Safari.
Barak.
Barak.
Rapah.
Barak.
Magun.
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 Bahashim Yahushua.
Bahashim Yahushua.
Tawad Aman.
Tawad Aman.
And in the English, Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Bless us.
Bless us.
In the name of Yahushua.
In the name of Yahushua.
Bless us in Israel.
Bless us in Israel.
And the school.
And the school.
Bless and heal.
Bless and heal.
Bless, heal, and shield.
Bless, heal, and shield.
Our loved ones. Protect.
Protect.
In the name of Yahushua.
In the name of Yahushua.
Thank you so big.
Thank you so big.
Right? These are the blessings in Hebrew. Barak Atah Yahweh.
Barak Atah Yahweh.
Wa Yahushua.
Wa Yahushua.
Wa Bayaka Allah.
Wa Bayaka Allah.
Wa Allah Hayy.
Wa Allah Hayy.
Wa Tazab Ya'ah. Allah Wak Yahana.
Allah Wak Yahana.
Ha Allah Wak Yim.
Allah Wak Yim.
Ha Saranyim.
Ha Saranyim.
Ha Kwatazi Yanyim.
Ha Kwatazi Yanyim.
Ha Kiya Yoyim.
Ha Kiya Yoyim.
Wa Ha Akwakim.
Wa Ha Akwakim.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Bahashim Yahushua.
Bahashim Yahushua.
Tawad Aman.
Tawad Aman.
And in the English, bless you, Yahweh.
Bless you, Yahweh.
And Yahushua.
And Yahushua.
And Michael.
And Michael.
And the angels.
And the angels.
Commanding General Yohana.
Commanding General Yohana.
The general.
The general.
The captain.
The captain.
The officer.
The officer.
The
The troopers.
And the sisters.
And assistants.
Yahweh in the name of Yahushua.
Yahweh in the name of Yahushua.
Thank you so big.
Thank you so big. This is Psalms 121. Aisha up.
Aisha up.
Ayanya.
Ayanya.
Al-Hahari.
Al-Hahari.
Ayanya.
Ayanya.
Yabal-ah.
Yabal-ah.
Azari.
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 Ma'an.
Ma'an.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Aisha.
Aisha.
Shamayah.
Shamayah.
Arakazah.
Arakazah.
Al-Yatham.
Al-Yatham.
Al-Wat.
Al-Wat.
Regalka.
Regalka.
Ayam-Wan.
Ayam-Wan.
Shamarka.
Shamarka.
Hana.
Hana.
La'ah.
La'ah.
Yam-Wan.
Yam-Wan.
La'ah.
La'ah.
Yeshua.
Yeshua.
Shalomar.
Shalomar.
Yasha'ala.
Yasha'ala.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Shamarka.
Shamarka.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Tazalka.
Tazalka.
Ayah.
Ayah.
Yemika.
Yemika.
Yewamah.
Yewamah.
Hashemah.
Hashemah.
La'ah.
La'ah.
Yemika.
Yemika.
Yirah.
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 Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Yeshamarka.
Yeshamarka.
Makorah.
Call.
Yeshamarka.
Yashimar.
Athnapashka.
Abash.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Yeshamar.
Yashimar.
Taza'afka.
Taza'afka.
Wa'aka.
Ka.
Mayatha.
Mayatha.
Wa'ai.
Wa'ai.
Awalam.
Alawam.
Aman.
Aman.
And in the English, I will lift up my eyes
I will lift up my eyes
unto the hills,
To the hills.
from which cometh my help.
From which cometh my help?
My help cometh from Yahweh,
My help cometh from Yahweh,
which made heaven and earth.
which made heaven and earth.
He will not suffer my foot to be moved.
He will not suffer thy foot to
He
be moved.
keepeth thee, will not slumber.
He that keepeth thee will not slumber.
Behold,
Behold,
he keepeth Israel,
he that keepeth Israel
shall neither slumber nor sleep.
shall neither slumber nor sleep.
The power is thy keeper.
The power is thy keeper.
The power is thy shade upon thy right hand.
The power is thy shade upon thy right hand.
The sun shall not smite thee by day,
The sun shall not smite thee by day,
nor moon by night.
nor the moon by night.
The power shall preserve thee from all evil.
The power shall preserve thee from all evil.
He shall preserve thy soul.
He
soul.
He shall preserve thy soul, bro.
The
Say Yahweh.
Yahweh shall preserve thy going out and thy coming in
Yahweh shall preserve thy going out and thy coming in
from this time forth
from this time forth
and even forevermore.
and even forevermore.
So be it.
So be it.
This is Psalms 83. Alahayim.
Alahayim.
Al-Dabayalaka. Al-Dabarash.
Al-Dabarash.
Wa'al-Tashakwat.
Al-Dabarash.
Kayakana.
Kayakana.
Awiyabdaka.
Al-Yahweh.
Yahami the one.
Yahweh the one.
Shanayaka.
With the Shemaiah.
Nashawa. Ra'ash.
Ra'ash.
Al-Anaka.
Al-Anaka.
Ya'ariyamwa. Sawad.
Sawad.
When you think your eyes are Sawad.
When you think your eyes are Sawad.
After the one you cut. Marwa. Kava. When the cocky. Magolia. It's a car. Show me Yasha'al. I was. Kaya. I tell the one. La. Yakaba. Alika. Maria. Yakarafla. Ahoya. Adawam. With Shemai Aliyam. Other. With Hagarian. The ball. I'm a one. I'm a lot. I'm a shot. I'm your Yeshua. Because of war. God Ashur. The Law. Imam. Ayawa. The Lawa. Salah. Isupk. Amadu. Because of Yasser. Kayakin. But the call. Or Yashua. The Shemakwa. Or Shemak. The Shemakwa. The Shemak. By your younger Arab. Ayawa. The man. Adama. Shayatama. The Yabuwa. Ka'arab. Wakasa'aba. Wakasabak. Because of Zolmanai. Call the say a couple. A shard. A marble. Where you shard. Let a what? The awak. Alahayim. Say a thumb. The governor. The quash. The punny the ash. The ivory. The hubba. The Haryan, Khan, the Regatna, with some Irica, what was the Paka, the Laham, the La'a, the Yaham, the one, the Quashma, Shamka, Yahweh, the Wabashwa, we Behola, and your eye, the Kapara, we Abadwa, we the Iowa, Kaya, Asa, Shamka, Yahweh, the Vodka, Ayawan, Alcohol, Arakasa, Aman.
And in the English, keep not thy silence.
Keep not thy silence.
O Yahweh.
O Yahweh.
Hold not thy peace.
Hold not thy peace.
And be not still.
And be not still.
O Yahweh.
O Yahweh.
For lo, thy enemies make a tumult.
Thy enemies make a tumult.
And that they hate. And they that hate thee,
and they that hate thee,
have lifted up the head.
Have lifted up the head.
They have taken crafty counsel against thine people.
Against thy people.
And consulted against thine hidden ones.
Consulted against thy hidden ones.
They have said, Come, let us cut them off.
Let us cut them off.
From being a nation.
From being a nation.
That the name of Israel. May be no more in remembrance.
May be no more in remembrance.
For they have consulted together.
They have consulted together.
With one consent.
With one consent.
They are confederate against thee.
They are confederate against thee.
The tabernacles of Edom.
The tabernacles of Edom.
And Ishmaelites.
And the Ishmaelites.
And of Moab.
Of Moab.
And the Hagarenes.
And the Hagarenes.
Gabal. And Ammon.
And Ammon.
And Amalek.
And Amalek.
And the Philistines.
And the Philistines.
With their inhabitants of Tyre.
With the inhabitants of Tyre.
And Ashur.
And Ashur.
Also is joined with them.
Also joined with them.
They have hope in the children of Lot.
They have hope in the children of Lot.
Salah. Do unto them as unto the Midianites.
Do unto them as unto the Midianites.
As in Seir.
As in Seir.
as to Jabin
Let's get your bed.
at the brook of Kison,
At the brook of the sun,
which perished at Endor.
which perished at Endor.
They became as dung for the earth.
They became a dung for the earth.
Make their nobles like Oreb,
Make their nobles like a rat,
and like Zeb.
and like that.
Yea,
Yea,
all the princes of Zabah,
all the princes at Sabbath,
and as the moon,
and that's Amunah,
who said,
who said,
let us take to ourselves the house of Yahweh in possession.
let us take to ourselves the houses of Yahweh in possession.
O my Yahweh,
Oh my God.
O my power,
Oh my power.
make them like a wheel,
Make them like a wind,
as they stubble before the wind,
as the snow before the wind,
as the fire burneth the wood,
as the fire burns the
and
wood,
as the flame sitteth upon the mountains on fire.
and the flames set the mountains on fire.
So prosecute them with thine tempest,
So persecute them with thy tempest,
and make them afraid with thine storm.
and make them afraid with thy storm.
Fill their faces with shame,
Fill their faces with
and
shame,
they may seek thy
that
name.
they may seek thy name.
O Yahweh,
O Yahweh,
let them be confounded with trouble forever.
let them be confounded with trouble forever.
Yea,
Yea,
let them be put to shame
let them be put to shame
and perish.
and perish,
That men may know that thou,
that men may know that thou,
whose name alone is Yahweh,
whose name alone is Yahweh,
art the most high over all the earth.
are the most high over all the earth.
So be it.
So be it. These are the blessings. Blessed be Yahweh.
Blessed be Yahweh.
King of heaven and earth.
King of heaven and earth.
And all things live.
And all things live.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
In the name of Yahweh.
In the
Shah.
name of Yahweh Shah.
Some of these are curses.
That's the blessings.
God.
Salaki. These Salaki. Oh, Salaki. Let me start over. Salaki. These are the curses. Salaki. Salaki. These are the curses. Blessed you Yahweh.
Blessed be Yahweh.
King of heaven and earth.
King of heaven and earth.
And all things live.
And all things live.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
In the name of Yahweh Shah.
In the name of Yahweh Shah.
Listen to us now.
Listen to us now.
Right now.
Right now.
It's the evils and curses.
It's evils and curses.
And punishment and destruction.
And punishment and destruction.
To the heat.
To the heat.
That speak against us.
That speak against us.
The prophets.
Thy prophets.
The teachers.
The teachers.
The princes.
The princes.
The priests.
The priests.
The Israelite brothers.
The Israelite brothers.
And the school.
And the school.
Said evils and curses.
Sent evils and curses.
And punishment and destruction.
And punishment and destruction.
To the heat.
To the heat.
And shake loose the treasure.
And shake loose the treasure
Of the rich of Israel.
of the rich of Israel.
That refuse to give to the school.
That refuse to give to school.
Force their riches.
Force their riches.
To enter to thy sanctuary.
And into thy sanctuary.
And evils and curses.
And evils and curses.
And punishment and destruction.
And punishment and destruction.
To the Edomites.
To the Edomites.
And the nation.
And the nation.
And the drug dealers.
And the drug dealers.
The court system.
The court system.
The prison system.
The prison system.
Planned Parenthood.
Planned Parenthood.
All the governments are our enemies.
All the governments are our enemies.
Amalek synagogues and arms.
Amalek synagogues and arms.
Roman Catholic Church.
Roman Catholic Church.
The Pope.
The Pope.
Islam.
Islam.
Christianity.
Christianity.
Egyptology.
Egyptology.
Militia.
Militia.
Ku Klux Klan.
Ku Klux Klan.
Aryan Nation.
Aryan Nation.
Skinheads.
Skinheads.
Pasta Comitata.
Pasta Comitata.
Gable.
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 Lesbian movement.
Lesbian movement.
Lesbian movement.
Lesbian movement.
Spies.
Spies.
Workers of witchcraft.
Workers of witchcraft.
National Space Program.
National Space Program.
Army. Navy.
Navy.
Air
Air
Force. Reed.
Reed.
Wall Street.
Wall Street.
Open up the internet.
Open up the internet.
And the airway.
And the airway.
The cable access channel.
Cable access channel.
And the radio channel.
And the radio channel.
Convict the spirit.
Convict the spirit.
Of any of thy people.
Of any of thy people.
That seek to stop us.
That seek to stop us.
And bring swift destruction.
To bring swift destruction.
To all the heat.
To all the heat.
That stand in the way.
That stand in the way.
And try to stop us.
Try to stop us.
Broadcasting your word.
Broadcasting your word.
Throughout the planet Earth.
Throughout the planet Earth.
Let loose all the plague.
Let loose all the plague.
Let loose all the
Let
plague.
loose all the plague.
Cause them to go to and from.
Cause them to go to and from.
Through the earth.
Through the earth.
They consume it.
They consume it.
Let the plague.
Let the plague.
Take the house of the thief.
Take the house of the thief.
And the murder.
And the murder.
Let your house shine.
Let the house shine.
Michael the gate.
Michael the gate.
Come down with the flying saucer.
Come down with the flying saucer.
To punish all the heathen.
Punish all the heathen.
To come up against us.
Come up against us.
As we speak thy word.
Speak thy word.
Cause we know.
Because we know.
But all.
But all.
That is the angels.
That is the angel.
That have done.
That have done.
Cause to be spread.
Cause to be spread
Through the media.
through the media.
Throughout the whole world.
Throughout the whole world.
Cause to shake it back up.
Cause to shake it back up.
In the name of Yahweh Shai.
In the name of Yahweh Shai.
Thank you always.
Thank you always.
So be.
So be.
Saw, which means to turn.
the men of Israel. We're going to give one courtesy salute to the teacher, Amadia, Amadia Shabbat, Amadia, Barak,
Yahweh Shem Yahushua Barakah. Yahweh Shem Yahushua Barakah.
Yajimatat, class dismissed.
In the